There you go, bro.
All right, welcome everybody. A lot of the same faces, a lot of new faces. We do this every Tuesday, and we always have a good time. So, welcome. Like Trey said, we're doing pretty big things here with Empower. Empower is the name of our company. We started about 2 years ago, really laying the groundwork for where we are right now. And what we like to say that we do for people is, number one, make a profound difference in people's lives every time. Every person we're working with, we're educating them and teaching them about things they don't know, and they get mad initially. Trey said it first, just because they weren't showed this stuff before. But when they come back and they really listen to what we're saying, it's making a big, huge difference. And we label ourselves as consumer advocates. And what I mean when I say that is that we're looking out for what's best for the consumer. All of us are consumers. We buy things every day. We use different products and services. So we go out there and we look for what's best for you and for us too. And just for an example for you guys, we bring this every week. This is, does anybody get this magazine? Anybody ever read this magazine or seen it? Yeah, I know you guys have seen it. This is Consumer Reports. So what they do is they go out and look at different products and services all over the place. They test them. They do basically a scientific study of these products to see what the best bang for your buck is, or what the top quality product is in terms of function, or what the best combination of the two are. So in this magazine, for example, there's cereal, grain cereal, very specific. But they go and test all the grain-based cereals and say, okay, what's the healthiest, what's the cheapest, and what's the best deal for you, so that you know what you're doing when you go out and try to purchase these items. And this one actually goes into money. They did an article on money, and they say, grow your savings, make more money, how to avoid fees, and warning signs of a bad plan. So they went out and they analyzed this kind of thing too, and that's kind of what we take pride in doing ourselves. So as consumer advocates, we're looking out for what's best for us and what's best for you guys. A little bit of history on how Empower got started. We're talking about being consumer advocates. We started in the utilities industry, so looking into power. And I don't know if anybody in here remembers, we got a pretty young audience. Some might remember cell phones. I use that example all the time. Or regular phones, back in the day, there used to be only the Bell systems. Anybody remember that? The Bell system? No? Well, it was one big circular bell, and the guy who invented phones is Alexander Graham Bell. So that's where it all started. And the government came in when they knew everybody's going to need a phone and communication. They knew this was going to be a big, huge thing. They said, no, there can't be just one company. We got to break you up. Monopolies are bad. We don't believe in monopolies. And they decided to break them up. So Bell said, okay, we'll break up. And they broke up themselves, but they became Bell South. Does anybody remember Bell South? Yeah, Bell Atlantic, that's what I had, Bell Pacific. All the different bells around the country, and the government came back and said, whoa, wait a minute, you guys are the same company. You're just little baby bells. We see what you're doing here. You're going to have to break up again. So now I have Sprint. Does anybody else have Sprint? One Sprint. I feel bad for you. Yeah. Verizon. There you go. T-Mobile, AT&T. You get the point, though. There's a lot of different cell phone companies out there, or phone companies in general. But they're competing for our business, which is good for us because they're competing in terms of pricing, in terms of quality of service. So we're looking for opportunities like that to help consumers out. So it happened in the power industry, starting in Texas. So in Texas, right now, who has FP&L in here? Everybody's got FP&L because you don't have a choice, right? You pay your bill every month, and you don't even look at it because that's your only option. In a state like Texas and 14 others around the country, they broke up the power companies. So now you get your power generated in the same place, you use the same power lines, but you can buy your power from different companies, just like a Verizon, Sprint, AT&T. So we work with companies that were giving the best rates for customers and saying, if I could save you some money on your power bill, would you be interested in learning more about that? Of course. So we've been saving people a lot of money on their residential power bills and saving businesses money on their power bills as well. So that's what we started off as with Empower. So we looked further into it and said, how else can we help consumers out? How else can we look out for business owners, consumers, anyone we can? How can we save people money and show them what's out there and what's best? Product testing, what's on the market. So we got partnered up with a company called Utility Advocates in Connecticut, who takes small businesses and they do audits. And that's what we do now. We do business audits. So every business uses internet, cable, phone lines. They use credit cards, right? How many people use a credit card almost every day? Or a debit card, same thing. They're charged for every time they use that service as a business. So what we go in is we look at the costs and go back and do an audit of all their bills to see where they've been overcharged, double fees, and sometimes technology advances every day, right? I bought my cell phone a few weeks ago and it's already out of date, which I'm pretty upset about. There's this new Galaxy S5 Active. I don't know what that is, but I have the older version now, 4 weeks later. So it happens in every industry that there is. And in terms of merchant accounts and telecom services, the same thing happens. Maybe they're paying for an antiquated service. They're paying too much money for something that's old, or they're paying too much money for a service that's been updated and they didn't get that update. So what we do is we go and look at those things, save businesses money, and then we also help out nonprofits as well in the same sector. All right. Welcome, guys. Yeah, just get the chair situated. I'll keep going. So nonprofits, we can look back and see, a lot of times, I've worked for nonprofits in the past. A lot of times the people running it don't always do the right things in terms of taxes just because they don't know any better. They're doing a great thing, usually, being that they're a nonprofit. But they make mistakes, they're overbilled, they're double charged. So we go back and we can actually go back 3 to 6 years, cut them a check for the money that they had overpaid. So we're helping out nonprofits, we're helping businesses save money. And we save money for businesses 95% of the time. So there's another part of our consumer advocacy. The third part we moved into, we started thinking about other ways we could help people. And back in the day, we used to run a company called Debt Free Solutions. Started up in New Jersey, ran the business, and sold it not too long ago. But, actually about 10 years ago. But debt, who in here knows somebody that has debt? Anybody? Who has debt themselves? I'm raising my hand real high right now. I'm up to my eyeballs. So what we're doing is we've created a software product that back in the day it was all manual, right? You do paperwork, you do the calculations, you're talking on the phone to 1 million people. Technology changes, as we all said. So technology has changed and upgraded, and now we're able to develop this software with a company that acts almost as a GPS system for your finances. So GPS system, right? You have in your car, it says in 1 mile you're going to take a right, then you're going to take a left. You can come back and view the whole thing and see where you're going to end up. That's exactly what this does. You enter your debts, your interest rates, your income, your due dates, everything that you can possibly think of, and it's real time. So if you swipe a credit card when you guys buy me dinner at the end of tonight, it would show up right in your little software. And that was a joke, guys. It was a lot. Thank you. Obviously not a very good one. I'll work on that. Yeah. So it goes right into the software, and it'll tell you exactly what that did to your debt structure. So it'll say, okay, you're going to end up paying right now today $20,000 worth of interest payments alone, and you're going to get out of debt in 15 years, 3 days, and 1 minute. You know, it'll say that, and then you swipe your credit card to buy me dinner. It updates that and tells you exactly what you just did to your entire debt structure. So not only that, but if you wanted to go buy a big screen TV or a car or whatever, you can go out and get the information, the pricing, enter it in, and see exactly what it would do to you. And it tells you exactly what you'd have to do to get out of debt. And we've been seeing this cut people's debt down into 1/3 of the time and save them hundreds of thousands in interest, especially when talking about mortgages. People paying off 30-year mortgages in 9 years just by following simple directions. And it shows you exactly what to do, updates automatically. It's pretty comprehensive and awesome, and we just came out today with it. So we're pretty excited about that, and we're all learning it and getting on it and trying to help as many people as we can. So when you pay all your debts off, you have extra money, what are you going to do? How many people in this room, we ask this question all the time, how many people in this room plan on dying? Everybody, right? Who wants to retire first, though? What are you doing about it? That's the question we ask. So when we free up money for debt, what do we do with it? We want to make sure that your future is set and secured. I know I do for myself, and that's what we help people do. We teach people about how to save for retirement, what their options are in the market, because we're consumer advocates, right? So we're educating people on what's out there, what they can take advantage of, how how to do it, how to save money, free up money, and eventually retire with dignity. And what we like to do for people is start at the very bottom, because they don't teach you this stuff in school. They should be teaching it in elementary school. I was fortunate enough to grow up with the guy in the back, Steve Young, and I've been having this stuff pounded into my head since I was this big, but most people don't have a clue about any of this. They don't know about how money works. They don't know the basics. So we go back to the basics here. We want you to get a full spectrum understanding of how money works, how it's working for you, or how it's not working for you in most cases. So with that, I am going to bring up Garrett to do what's called the Rule 72, one of my favorite things ever. I've known it for a while. Most people have never heard of it, but it's great. Changed our lives, changed my life from when I was born, just because we knew about it years and years ago. So with that, I'm going to bring up Garrett Coe.
Thanks, man. Well, guys, my name's Garrett. I've been with Empower about 7 months now, and just like Trey said, it's changed everybody's lives around us. We see it, and it's it's been a lot of fun and really cool. And actually, what got me started in this business, it actually goes back to a couple years ago. I was about 16 years old, and I was sitting in Steve Young's office actually, and he showed me something called the Rule of 72. Has anybody ever actually heard of the Rule of 72 before? You have, Ryan?
Yes, I have.
Oh, that's good. But the Rule 72 is, simply put, as a how many doubles you cool to see how it plays out and how it actually affects everyday life. So let's go ahead and take an example. How old are you, by the way? 19? We're going to take an example of 23. Rito, you're how old are you, 25 now? 25. 25? That's good. So we're right around this age. So we're going to take somebody who's 23 years old. Let's say you guys had $5,000 and you wanted to put it in somewhere, right? And where would you normally go? If you had $5,000, somebody gave you $5,000 cash, where would you go put it?
Not into the bank.
Not into the bank, under your mattress? Yeah. Sounds good. I'm going to your house. But no, so the majority of people, they put it in some sort of savings account, something like that. If you wanted to kind of start planning towards your future, want to build a savings account, right? Well, what's happening in a savings account, the average rate of return in most savings accounts are 0.2 to 0.5%. So what you do is that you take 72 and divide it by 0.2 or 0.5, and that's going to show how long it's going to take your $5,000 to double. Now, if we do the math on that, it's going to take a really long time for that money to double. So let's go ahead and say, Brito, I opened up a bank. Built 4 walls, put a pretty little light outside, and called Garrett's International Bank. You got $5,000. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give you a new iPod if you come in and give a savings account, start a savings account with my bank. Plus, I'm going to give you 2%. Bank of America is going to give you 0.2. I'm going to give you full 2%. Sound pretty good? Sure. So let's go ahead and do it. So you take a 72 divided by 2, and it's going to take that's how long it's going to take for your money to double. So it's going to double every 36 years. So here we go. 23-year-old, $5,000. You're going to put it in a bank account, right? You're going to put it in G's International Bank. You get a new iPod. Sounds good. Get your 2% return rate. So it's going to double every 36 years. So let's go ahead and do it. So 23 plus 36, you're at the age of 59. There's $10,000, so it doubled on top of itself. Let's go out another 36 years. You're at now at the age of 95, and you got $20,000. Rito, I feel bad for you. $20,000 at the age of 95, it's not going to really do a whole lot. So you know what? I'm gonna bump it up. I'm going to give you 6%. You're like, man, that sounds pretty good, right? I mean, 6% is a lot better than 2, a lot better than 0.2 or 0.5. So let's say I'm going to give you 6%, which means your money's going to double every 12 years now as opposed to 36. So you're the same guy, same 23-year-old, say $5,000, and it's going to double every 12 years as opposed to 36. So all I'm doing is cutting the time down by a third, and I'm going to triple the interest rate. And I'm going to ask you, what do you think you might have at the age of 95 at 6% as opposed to 2% of what you did in the first one? You just take a wild guess, whatever you think.
$100,000.
$100,000 sounds good. Sure, Gio, what do you think?
140.
140?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good guess, guys. But here's the deal: because I'm the bank, and you came in and you wanted a nice new iPod, and I'm going to give you 6%. I'm going to give you your 100,000. I'm going to give you your 140, but I'm going to keep the rest. Sound fair? Not really? That's the way it's going to work, all right, guys? So let's go ahead and play it out. So let's go every 12 years now. So we just take 23, add 12 to that. There's your 10,000. Another 12 years, you're at the age of 47. Now you're at 20 grand, which is a lot better than 95 over there on the left, right? So there's your 20,000. So let's go another 12 years now. You're at the age of 59. There's your 40,000. Another 12 years later, age 71. There's your 80,000. 12 years later, age 83, $160,000. And finally, at the age of 95, you're sitting at $320,000, which means I can give you guys both what you wanted and still be making money off you. Right? Kind of follow how the maths work, guys? So here we go. So we're going to do it one more time and say, you know what, I still feel bad for you. Let's give you something a little bit more realistic. Let's give you 8%. So we're going to do 72 divided by 8. It's going to equal every 9 years. So all I'm going to do is just go 2% higher. And I'm going to go from 12 years to 9 years. So I'm going to cut the time down by just 3 years. Fair enough? So let's go ahead and do it again. Same 23-year-old, same 5 grand. Instead of 6%, now you're at 8%. Let's do it again. What do you think you might have at the age of 95? $1 million? Sergio, what do you think? 800. 800? Sounds good. I'm going to make you the deal again, though. I'm going to give you your million. I'm going to give you your 800,000, and I get to keep the rest. Sound good? Let's go ahead and check it out. 9 years later, you're at the age of 32. There's $10,000. Go another 9 years, age 41, 20 grand as opposed to 95 over there, 2%, as opposed to 47 there in the middle, 6%. So you're looking pretty good. Let's go another 9 years later, you're at $40,000, looking good. 9 years later, you're at 80,000. Another 9 years, 68. There's your $160,000, and here's where it gets really exciting, because you double that on top of itself. Age 77, 320, as opposed to 95 there in the middle. 86, $640,000, and finally, at the age of 95, you're at 1.2 with 80,000 left over on top of that. Now, if anybody ever go to big cities, you've been to Miami before, right, guys? Do you ever see the big giant buildings in there? They're all bank names on top of it. And you ever wonder why those big buildings are there? It's because banks, what's happening is that they're going in, your money that you're depositing into a savings account, they're taking it, and they're investing it at that 8% for giving you 0.2 to 0.5. Now, here we showed you 2%, which is much higher than what you're actually getting. But that's what's happening, and we like to call this legalized extortion. And the reason why is because, let me click it one more time. Legalized extortion is because basically what's happening is that they're giving you $20,000 on 2%, and they're making over $1 million on you. So we like to go, here's your choice. You got A on the left, you got B on the right. Rita, which one would you like? It's because it's got the money behind it, right? It's got the big picture of the money. Exactly, and that's what we like to show. And that's the rule of 72. It's pretty simple. You could use it in any kind of credit card, any kind of mortgage, any kind of interest rate you might have. You just divide it into 72, and that's how long it's going to take it to double on top of itself. So it's pretty cool, but we all know that the market goes up and down, right? So we all know that in the perfect world, rule 72 works that every year it's going to double on top of itself, right? You divide it in, and it's going to double. But what happens if you have a year where you have a 5% loss? So we're going to go ahead and show you how, kind of play it on out. So we're going to do it again with the impact of 5% loss. Now this one, we're going to just take an example of 7.2%, divided into 72 to make it nice and easy. It's going to double every 10 years. Okay, so we're just going to take a nice and easy example. We're going to use $1,000, right? So $1,000, and you're just going to see how it plays out and how it's going to double out. So you see how it just progresses down until finally year 10. That's how you double. There's your 2 grand, right? So what happens if you have an impact of 5%? We're going to have this in an example in year 2 of a 5% loss. So we're going to take our same $1,000 and we're going to do it again. So you can see year 1, you're at the same thing. Now year 2, here becomes our 5% loss. So boom. So now we got 1,018. So we lost a little over $100. Not a big deal, right? But let's see how it really plays out in the long run. So you just see how it progresses down again. There's year 5, year 6, year 7, 8, 9, and finally year 10. So you're at $1,776 as opposed to $2,000. Now, if anybody's a math guy, I can pick this up really quick. Even though there's only a 5% loss in year 2, it's actually 11.4% loss on your return because of the way the compound interest works. Because you can never lose or get back the value of your dollar. So once you lose, it's going to compound on top of itself. And ultimately, in this one, it's going to be 11.4% as opposed to just your 5, which you see. So you go, just to show it out, year 20. Same thing, same math. There's still 11.4% return, and that's a grumpy cat of finance because he's not very happy that he lost some money. If anyone has ever seen that, it's pretty fun to send out all the time. But he's not very happy because he only thought he lost 5%, but really is 11.4. Now, So we all know the stock market's going up and down all the time, right? So we're losing 5% there. Let's do an example of a real-life retirement plan. Does anybody have a 401k, IRA, anything like that in here? 401k, and there's a couple other people. Rita, you have one as well? So let's go ahead. There's actually 50 million plus people that have some sort of retirement account in America, an IRA or 401k. But for this example, I'm going to show you the facts about a few things. And what I'm going to do is I showed 1 to 5% loss, right? So in this one here, what's your name, by the way? Nick. Nick, Garrett. Nice to meet you, buddy. So in that one, I showed a 5% loss, right? I'm right here. You can see it. This one, can you just read out there? So here's the last. We're going to show you the last 12 years of the S&P 500, the actual rates of return. So in 2000, what is that one?
Negative 10.14%.
Negative 10.14. 2001, what did you get there?
Negative 13.04.
Okay, and in 2002?
Negative 23.37.
So in the first 3 years, we had 3 negative years in a row. All of them were double digits, negative 10, negative 13, negative 23. And that one I showed a negative 5%. You had 1 5% loss. So the first 3 years, in 2000, 2002, you had negative, negative, negative. Okay, and then in 2003, we jump up 26%. 2004, you had another 8. 2005, you go up 3. 2002, you're up plus 13. So we had a good streak of going up a little bit, right? 2007, you're at 3.5%. Ooh. And then boom, 2008 happens, right? So read that one up.
Negative 38.49%.
Means in 2008, people almost lost 40% of their retirement accounts. Not that 5%, it's 40%, right? So that's a huge loss there. 2009, we get a big rebound of 23%. 2010, we go up to 12.78. 2011, we break that even, we're at zeros. So, no loss, no gain. And then 2012, we're at 13.41. So in the last 12 years here, there's 5 years that either were negative or zero. Okay? So in this example, this retirement plan, just wanted to show you, these are the facts, by the way, of the S&P 500, of what's happened. So in this retirement plan, we're going to show some facts here. Just wanted to point that out. But we're going to take somebody by the, from age 35. So from 35 to 65, for 30 years, he's going to invest $500 per month at a 10% return per year. So what does anybody want to throw out a wild guess what I think what that might be after 30 years? Rito, Sergio, Andre, want to take a shot at it? Nobody? All right, you say so, but here we go. Let's go ahead and do it. So after 30 years, the total is going to be 1.7 million, 88,761 at the end of 30 years. So that's at $500 per month at a 10% per year. But let's deal with reality on that. So we have, guys in here that 401ks, IRAs. So here's an example of a retirement plan. So you had over $1.7 million in a retirement account. But let's say that we had 2 bad years. So only out of the next 30 years, we only have 2 bad years of market loss. Now in here, I showed you the actual rates of return in the last 12 years, 5 of them being in almost double digits or 0 in the last 5 years, right? So in this example, I'm going to go just 2 years, 1 at 5%, 1 at 10%. Just so I want to be extra conservative for you, right? So we're all agreed that that's pretty conservative, right? 30 years, only 2 bad years. And then we're going to say commissions and fees. Let's say in this example, we only have a 1.5% fee. Now the average in any kind of qualified plan, 401k, IRA, the average is anywhere between 3 to 5%. In this one, I'm going to show you 1.5. So once again, we could be pretty conservative on it. And then finally, we're going to account for taxes. So when you go to touch your money, who gets the first cut? Rito,
I have a Roth IRA.
Roth IRA, so tax-free on that one. Right. But majority of the time, having you qualified IRA or 401k, 403b, you have to pay taxes on it when you go to withdraw that money. So let's account in this one here that a 25% tax is going to be deducted on your money. So after all that, let's apply it. So after impact of 2 years of market loss at a 1.5% fee and 25% tax, what is the remaining balance of your $1,788,000? And that is $588,634, which some people might say, hey, that's pretty good. I still got over $500,000. But what we don't see is that we gave and we paid others over $1.2 million. Now, I don't know if anybody would like to have that money back, or if they can retire differently on it. We would like to think yes. And Brito, what would happen to you if you knew that you're giving away over $1.2 million? Would you be kind of upset by it? Most people would. I know I would, and that's why we're here in the first place. So what I wanted to do next is saying, well, if you're going to do that, if you're going to retire, And if you're going to put money away, you should have a strategy. Now, your strategy. Does anybody know who Bear Bryant is? Anybody who follow big college football? College football, Alabama head coach, right? One of the best around. And he had a strategy that he used for his players, and he would say, offense sells tickets, right? Everyone wants to see the good pass, the good run, the big plays and stuff like that. But he always says defense wins championships. And we applied it back, there's a lot of rugby players in here, Sergio, we played, Rita, we played, Ryan, we played, we all talked about playing rugby. And Coach Young was actually my head coach. And he always said, if we have a good offense, that's good and great. We can go score a lot of points. But if you have a really bad defense, it doesn't matter how many points you score if they score more than you, right? So you should always have a good defense. But how should you apply that in a retirement example? Well, you have a good offense and a good defense. So let's go ahead and write a few things that you should have for a defensive strategy. So I'm just going to write it real quick. So defense, as Bear Bryant says, well, if you're going to put money away and you're going to want to build for you, you should have a defensive plan for market loss, for your market risk. And this one there, we showed 2 bad years. So we should have a good plan for that. Number 2, if you're going to put your money away and you want a defensive strategy, you should have good fees and commissions. Here we had a 1.5% fee. But we want to defend against fees and commissions. We don't want it really high. Fees and commissions, number 3. And then again, let's go down to the bottom, taxation. So if you're going to put your money away, you don't want to, again, have to pay huge taxes. So we're going to do tax efficiency on it. So tax efficiency. Now let's turn to offense. Let's go make some big plays, some big runs, some big catches. So let's go with offensive strategy. So number 1. So if you want your money in somewhere, you want it to really grow, because eventually you want to draw some income, right? So you want it to grow. And if it's going to grow, you want to be able to draw income. So that's list number 2. Instead of having it go, from 588, you want to be able to grow the income from your 1.7 million. So number 3, we want it to be safe. We don't want to be hitting that market loss. So let's go with safety. Number 4, we're going to go liquidity. It's your money. Go get it. Rita, what do you have to do with your Roth IRA if you want to touch it right now?
Pay a penalty.
Pay a penalty. It's your money, right?
Yeah.
It's your money. Go get it. It's liquidity. So you want to be able to access it. And then, again, number 5, and our last offensive strategy is, again, tax efficiency. And what I mean by that is tax-free. And the question is, well, if we applied that to this, where does it check off? So market loss. So we don't want to have market risk, so that doesn't qualify. If we have fees and commissions that are going to eat away, we already said it was 1.5. The average is 3.5 or 3 to 5%. So we only showed 1.5 on that. So in reality, that number, that net investment return, is going to be a lot lower than what we actually show. But we want to be conservative about it. We want to show the example. And then again, tax efficiency, paying taxes down there at the bottom is going to eat away at everything. And unless Rita's got a Roth IRA, it's a little bit different. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go into where to go to get this and how to get it, and something called Now You Are. And I'm going to show a little video for you, and then we're going to invite Steve up to go into how that works. So bear with me 1 second. So this is a Yahoo video that is pretty cool. So see we get it from here.
When I was younger, I never thought about retirement. Never entered my mind. Even to this very day, I'm still shocked that I'm in the position that I'm in.
I really never had any savings, and I was contributing to the 401k at my job. And when I got fired, I had to take some of that money just to live.
I seriously began saving when I was in my 60s. I'm sorry I didn't start a lot earlier. Nothing ever works out the way you planned it.
When I got into my early 50s, all of a sudden, I started realizing I'm never going to be able to retire. And I want to retire because, first of all, as I said, I did not have a career. I had a job.
People that I know, my friends, they're in their 70s already and they still work. I can't save for retirement right now with what I'm earning. Over the last 10 years, I've had to really reinvent myself. So I applied for a university in the city. I was accepted, and now I'm living off of student loans. I'm probably going to be in debt for well over, close to $200,000. And I honestly don't think I'll ever be able to repay that.
I have quite a few friends the same age as me that are trying to either reinvent themselves, trying to find a job. It's very hard over 50 to find a full-time job, and they're all struggling. We joke around that we may all like live communal to make ends meet when we get older, because it's tough.
I sold some furniture. I had a friend pay me to paint their apartment. You know, I'm doing whatever I can do.
Yahoo! All right. Well, that's my little stick, so I'm going to invite Coach on up here. And thanks for listening, guys.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Well, you're the only one who's having a good evening, apparently. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. You don't answer me when I ask you, I give you a free beating. You understand that? If you got your big guy, if you ask me a question, you want me to answer you?
Yes, sir.
I expect the same thing. Fair enough? All right, good. There we go. All right. Now, I'm going to wrap up and recap what you just heard, because some of you look like you were like flaking out and saying, what are they doing? Look, first of all, Stephen, so when you came in late, they didn't hear the company. We'll give that to you later. The company is looking to help everybody. Ask me what I do for a living, RJ.
What do you do for a living, Coach?
Actually, I'm retired, but I'm profoundly making a difference in people's lives. How about you?
No, we're listening.
Oh. You see, what do you all do? See, how many of you have to work for money? All right, is everybody? Andre, you midget, Andre? I can't see your hand. What are you? I'm a small guy. I got to stand on my wallet to see you. Okay, right, I got it. Okay, there's the deal. All right, so here's the deal. See, y'all work, and listen, you got a role play. I'm going to come give you a beating. Now, here's the deal. You got to work for money. Am I right, Andrew? Doesn't that stink? Money doesn't care who owns it. Whoever figured that out? How many of you just get sick when you see all the wealthy people and go, I wonder what they do? Anybody ever think about that? See, maybe they know something you don't. Maybe they lucked into it. Maybe they got the silver spoon. But how many of you think about that? How many of you, I love this. This is out of Paul Dunbar's mouth. Where are you, Paul? Out of his brain, which is remarkable. Okay, he would say to people, now what's your say? How do you say it about people being a millionaire? How do you say it?
Have you ever dreamed about being a millionaire or having $1 million? And, you know, everyone will say, yeah, of course I've dreamt.
No, ask them.
Have you guys raise your hand if you ever dreamt of being a millionaire?
Perfect.
Right. Now raise your hand if you ever honestly made a good solid effort, put forth a nice plan, and tried to achieve that.
See, most of you're lying dogs right there raising your hands. Okay, you're definitely lying. You're going to get beat to that tonight. See, now isn't that sad that he asked that question? You all dream of it, you think of it. Wouldn't it be nice if you had a chance, but nobody's working toward it? Because the truth is, you get beat down and you let life beat you up. Life has a funny way of doing it, and then you become negative. I don't have time for your negativity. See, money doesn't care who owns it. It only cares what you do with it. Hello, right or right? Right. See, you roll out every morning to go make money. Am I right or right? You roll out to make it. See, we roll over when you roll out. Isn't that something? Ain't that something? How many of you would rather roll over instead of rolling out? Right. See, I have money working for me. I don't work for it. How many of you like that thought instead? Well, then pay attention, because that's what we're teaching you. See, 9 out of 10 of our clients that we even deal with spend no money out of their pocket because they're doing it all wrong. We reposition what people are doing and educate you. Because the sad thing is the institutions aren't teaching you what you need to know. That's horrible. And guess what? Don't blame your mother and father because they didn't know it either because their parents didn't tell them and the schools you went to didn't teach you. Am I right or right, anybody? The Rule of 72, did you get that? How many of you got a little tick at that Rule of 72 and said, why didn't I ever see that? Man, when you're giving your sweat equity hard away, what do you do for a living, sir? You're a bartender. So you're a priest, you're a counselor, you're a sociologist. Am I right or right?
You're right.
And you hear it all, and you give it all back too, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Could you imagine? Could you imagine being? You're a bartender, so obviously some bars make good money. Am I right? Okay, because the big thing is you make more money in sodas than you make in anything, even the food. Am I right or right? I know the industry, I own a restaurant. Okay, so there's the deal. So the point of what I'm stressing to you right now is that wouldn't it be great if you could own 150 restaurants right now? Well, you'd be ka-chinging it, wouldn't you? Okay, but it takes a little bling to get it, right? See, if you make money work for you. All of you have a dream of doing something. See, when we learned the money game, we got very mad because nobody showed us that. 2 degrees, college, and nobody showed me that. And I was 28, 29 when I first saw it. Then I thought it was too good to be true. I love that crap. How many of you always think it's too good to be true? See, you're natural cynics. You don't believe anything. You don't even believe you. And you're a bartender? You're supposed to believe all that crap you hear. What do you do, sir?
Me?
Yes.
I'm a server.
You're a server. And you, sir? A server. So we're in the serving business. See, I serve too. I make no money unless I make a difference in somebody's lives. And they have to save money in order for me to make it. Is that reasonable to you? Big. See, I put money in Pike Bill's pocket, not taking it out. How cool is that? Who's got an FIP here? Anybody got one? Okay, I'm going to show you what the result is. See, watch what we do. We put together what we call an FIP. FIP, you know what that says, Brito? Even you, because I know you eat a lot of tacos, you can still read what that says, right?
Financial independence.
Wow. Okay, pretty good. See, I have an FIP. How many of you would like a financial independent plan? See, and if you don't have one, you're not going to be. It's that clear. I was a little horrified. Was it you, Garrett, that asked who had a retirement account in here? Yeah. Who has a retirement account in here? Raise your hand. See, man, well, here's what you're going to do then. Let me make it very clear to you. You got 3 things you're going to do. You're either going to die, you're either going to retire, or you're going to die on the job. Which one are you going to do? Right. See how? You don't have an FIP. You're going to be working for somebody forever. Those bar owners love you. And guess what? They pay you enough to show up, and you get enough tips, and you do just enough to keep that job. Am I right or right? See, now, I hope I'm making you all cranky at having a job. I'm not knocking it. We all have to have one. We all have to get some. That's what you do. Nobody knows what you're going to do right away. I didn't know I was going to be doing this. Somebody recruited me to a meeting. I sat there and saw a guy that was too smooth to believe. I thought he was a Greek mafia member. He was too funny, entertaining, and he probably was, but he gave out the information and it turned out to be right. And I went and got licensed and followed through. See, I don't want to work for somebody else for the rest of my life. I'd rather be independent. How about you? Okay, why don't you set your own dream and your own goals, your own aspirations with no limit on you? That's what this is. And we have different income streams. See, what's better than one income stream? Right. And that's what we designed too, because the world changes, and you got to learn to change with it. Am I making sense? So these FIPs, Financial Independent Plan, here's what it is. See, it's costing this knucklehead $38. I happen to know it because I used it last week. And he's going to have $102,000 a year coming into him, tax-free income at 66 for $38 a month. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Yes, sir.
Man, is $102,000 a lot more than you're making now?
Yes, sir.
I will, and it's tax-free. Man, they're even hitting you guys now with taxes. You're getting away with it for a while. Now you're getting nabbed. Am I right or right? Oh, I'm going to tell you more story because you're going to get, it's worse. It's coming at you to a theater near you. So what? For $38 a month, he gets $102,000. He gets a life insurance plan in here for, I don't know what the heck. It's not enough because if he croaks, I want a lot. Okay, it's $350,000 in there, and he has living benefits. That's very important. Watch this one. See, living benefits. You don't even know what that is. It's new in the industry, but that's what we packaged together. We're going to tell you a whole story. See, don't get confused. Here's the deal. You know what you're learning? You're learning math in here. That's what you're learning math. Rule 72 is math, right? Now watch. Let me shift for a minute. When you saw that video, Andrew, what'd you think of that video? What'd you notice about that video that I noticed? What impressed you or did not in that video?
Impressed me?
Or didn't? What'd you think of it? I want to see if you got what I got. We don't have all night, Andrew, you know what I mean?
Just the fact that so many people think that they can't retire.
No, they don't think, they know.
They know.
They said, we can't, did you all get it? Now here, did you get all this? Most of the people in this room are somewhere in their 20s and 30s. I'm the old buck in the room. Holy smokes. If they're not retiring, what are you doing? You're gonna be working, man. Hello, y'all with me? I'm not here to be. Listen, there's a proverb in the Good Book. That's the Bible, you know, B-I-B-L-E. Some of you ought to read that. Some of you need that. You know what I mean? And it stands for, and the B-I-B-L-E. It's basic instructions before leaving Earth. It's a good read. It's got a whole mess of rules in there. And one of them says, behind every adversity, there's an equal or equivalent seed of a benefit. So I'm not here telling you the world's coming to an end, but if you're not prepared, you are. Because you're in a world of hurt. And I'm here to tell you the story about the math. Listen to this. I hate math. How many of you, I hated math in school. How many of you hate math? Me too. Count me out. Algebra, forget about it. Geometry I had to take twice. I flunked it in high school. I'm not very good with those. I was telling a pyramid was a square. I don't know that crap. Trapezoids, you know, angles, blah, fall up. I'm not very good at it. Here's the deal. I can count money. How many of you with me? That I can do. See, so in that math, you want to be good at. How many of you can count? Okay, then you qualify. But you got to know the rules of the game. So it's all about the math. Here's what I love. You see, how many of you know a liar in your life? Raise your hand because you lie. Okay, just check it. You didn't raise your hand, mister, and you lie. I know you lie. Don't lie with me. You're lying right now. Okay, look at me. He's too embarrassing me. Oh, okay. But Mr. Padilla, that is, okay? So we all lied. Now watch. See, around here you don't see math doesn't lie, Mr. Padilla. 2 and 2 is what? 4. You're amazing. You're outstanding. I love that. Andrew, don't take an hour. I'm going to time it. 5 and 5 is what? Oh, you're impressive. You see, that's all this is. Do you understand now, Andre? Money doesn't care who owns it. It's the math. Learn the math. If you don't know the math, you lose. And you don't know the math because you're giving all your money to the banks like that one said. Am I right or right? Right. Hello? That was a question. Right or right? Right. Just checking. Oh, good response. You're doing all right. Okay? So now I'm going to tell you a story. So good old Garrett threw it up here. Now we have an answer for you because everybody, here's what kills me. You don't even have retirement accounts. So you're not retiring. You're all working for somebody. See, you're working for somebody else's dream instead of building your dreams. That's done here. We don't like that. We think you ought to be working for your dream, for you and your family. Amen to that one? Amen. Fact. And listen, that's what I love. See, in this business, we're right, and that's that. You don't even have an argument that you could argue with us. You can have an opinion that ain't going to count when we're done with it because we can just turn it right around. Because when you got the facts, you got the facts. How powerful is that? How many of you would love to be right about something once in your life? Exactly. You see, and this is money. This is what kills me. Get this now, okay? The very thing you need the most is the very thing you know the least about. Whoa. True or true? True. See, so we're going to tell you now a story. I'm telling you about some math, and now we're going to tell you the story with the answer. Now watch. This is not new either. It's been happening over the years. So we're going to give you an option for your money. For those of you, that burrito, good job on a Roth. But guess what? Where's your money? I heard the question asked, who's your partner? What'd you say? Well, let me do it again. Who's your partner in your Roth IRA? No, that's who's managing it, right? Okay, well, who's your partner? I love it. See, he gets all confused. I don't have a partner. He's afraid. No, that's okay. I'm doing that on purpose. You got that, right? See, you haven't changed a bit ever since I coached you. Here's the deal. Okay, no, I love it. See, now he's right. At least he has one. Did you hear that, Trey? Credit for burrito. Now, here's your partner. When you ask for your money, who gets first dibs? No. Who's getting the first cut when you ask for your money? Who is it? What's your name, sir? Andrew. Andrew? If you had a retirement, and you should, how young are you? Wow, see, he forgets that. Look at that. Okay, he had a beard before he came in here. You know what I mean? No, that's all right. So, listen, it's 26. Okay, that's good. All right, now 20. And by the way, did it go fast? Wait until you're 52. Boom. You think these decades went fast? You have no idea. It's going to go just like that. And in this condition you're in now, unless you get off your DuPont, it's going to be just worse because you got nothing when you go. Because I'm going to prove it all right now. Fair enough. So. Now, when he takes his money out, who gets the first cut? Do you know? No, the government. Oh, the government. Uncle, see, we're all related, not by blood. Are you able to do all the swiveling that I'm doing? So I'm making you work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting to work out.
I'm making them try to. This is being broadcast all over the country. There's a lot of people that are not here that are watching in all the other states right now because we are in all the states. You understand that? So people want to learn. So we're giving them an opportunity to, and that's a high definition camera. So don't show all their faces. They might not want to come back. No, I'm kidding. That's a joke. Okay, can you take it? Do you have a sense of humor? You're going to need one in this business. Okay, so the government, you're in business with your uncle, Uncle Sam. Everybody get that? Isn't it sickening that you put all your money away and you give it to the bank to manage it, and they get fees, don't they, Burrito? Who's got all the risk? So let me hear this straight. You give them all your money, you got all the risk, you pay them to manage it, and the first one that gets the cut is the government. Is that right? How many agree that sucks? Okay, right. We change all that. We change all that, and everybody's doing it. All your parents are doing that. Your families are doing it. Anybody with a retirement account is doing that because they don't know any better. Amen. If we can fix all that using our strategy over there, how many people would listen? So I'm going to tell you the story. Now let me give you the background as to why this is all true. And incidentally, I'm telling you everything is very verifiable. It's all the story, but you need to know the story. Am I right or right?
Right.
Anybody want to hear the story?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Andre, you want to hear it?
Yeah.
All right, you excited, Andre?
I'm very excited.
All right, I got to hear it. I got to see you do a head snap once in a while. I go, oh, these are oh moments. Oh. Okay, how am I doing? So here we go. How many people like the coach? The coach's offense and defense. Was that cool? That is cool, because that's exactly what we do with money. But now here's the deal. You see, I want you to know why. Garrett let it out of the cat's bag already. The one product we're going to offer, we have many, by the way, but the one to move a lot of retirement amount is called an Index Universal Life. That's what it's called, okay? And it does 3 things for you. By law, when you purchase one of these, remember, we get them for people out of already shifting money they're already spending because they misappropriate the money. They do things for the right reasons but don't have the right products. Is that all clear to you all now? Okay, so watch. This does 3 things. It gives life insurance. That's a disgusting subject. We'll talk about that in a minute. It gives living benefits. I love that because nobody knows in this room what the heck that is. But you go, oh, it sounds good. And here's what I love. I love this. And incidentally, how many of you are patriots in here? You really love the country deep down. Well, I do too. Now, sir, you served in the country. Great job. You know, veterans are getting a mess right now, aren't they? Okay? So we're all sensitive to it. I love my country very much, but I can't stand my uncle. I don't like the government officials. How many of you are with me right now? Okay? And if you're sleeping, and listen, I'm really qualified to talk because I was one. An elected mayor, ran a city, I understand the rules of the game, worked in legislatures, wrote business, so I can talk very profoundly about what is and what isn't. So I can give you the facts, okay? There's no fooling around with it. So you need to wake up because crap's coming at you, and I'm showing it to you right now. So here it is, living benefits, and I love this. Watch this one. Tax-free, did you get the word free? Retirement. Now, what's better, Burrito, tax-free or tax-deferred?
Tax-free.
Every time. I had a moron executive, a lawyer on the phone today. I had to embarrass him in front of all his executives today because he didn't even get that right. I go, what's wrong with you? You got to get a pink slip. You're the first one to send it to you. Boom. See, tax-free is better than anything, right or right? Right. And I'm going to prove it to you later why it's so devastating. So watch. That's what an IUL does. Now, let me give you some history. Now, the first thing is, 50 years ago, there was a code that was written in the IRS code. And I'm even going to give it to you. It's called 7702 and 101 in the tax code. Now, how many of you know that you get very confused about taxes and you don't know a thing about taxes? Raise your hand. You get turbo or you go to your accountant. How many of you rely on your accountants? Nobody? But you go bring it to them anyway and they pay you to do it wrong. Now, fact, by the way, this gets done every year. You can look it up in the newspapers, everything. Every year at tax time on April 15th, here's what they do. They'll go get, what was your first name again? Andrew. Are you sure, Andrew? He said, oh, before, I didn't know what was first. Oh, or the Andrew, right? So, Andrew, you don't mind being teased, do you? Okay. Now, and your first name again?
Shane.
Oh, Shane, how can I forget that? Okay, because you didn't enroll. No, you didn't enroll. You didn't go to the next step, so I forget you real quick. You see? Bang, bang, boom. Oh, here we go.
Nothing I'm doubting you're selling.
I'm not selling anything. I'm replacing everything, and I'm educating, and I make a difference in people's lives. You see what it is, Shane? See,
I'm right now.
I know you are, and I'm straightening it out. I'm taking that and giving it right back to you, right? In fact, I guarantee you, there's not an objection you can have that we can't overcome, and I'll bet you $1,000 tonight. Think of the best one you can. I'm going to take your $1,000. Okay, because when you're right about something, you can't avoid the truth. Truth, it trumps everything every time, and you all need to know the truth. Who agrees with that? Boom! I like boom. Boy, when you're going to hit somebody, you better hit him and knock him out. Am I right? Well, Richie likes that one, right? You're on that boom? Right. Okay. Now, where was I going, Shane? Because you threw me off my curveball. Where was I going?
The tax code.
Yes, thank you. Right. Tax code. Your account, I love this. Every year they take your taxes, they go to 8 of the top 10 accounting firms in the United States and say, do this guy's taxes, and guess what they get back? Guess. What's your name again? Nick, you're supposed to know. What is it? 8 different returns. If the rules are the rules, why are you getting eight different returns from 8 different firms? Does that make sense to y'all? Yeah. See, there's something wrong in that. You know why? Nobody understands the whole tax code. Watch. You want to know why? Anybody want to know why, Andrew? You're falling asleep on me. Come on. You don't want to know why they're getting confused with the tax code?
I don't know.
Okay, good. There's 93,000 pages in it. How many you read? Yeah. Boom! And neither is your accountant either, by the way. So they don't know that this was written 50 years ago. And even the guy who wrote it, now listen to this. Let's see if you got some chutzpah in your brain up there. Ready? Here we go. How many of you ever heard of the word loophole? Okay, what's it mean? What's it mean to you, Shane?
There's a glitch. There's like a problem where people are sliding by under the radar.
Oh, well, you're so beat up on that, Shane. Okay, what is it? Yes, you see, it's called an exception. So why write the rule if you're going to make an exception to it? And you guys hear it all the time, and here's what kills me. You never ask what it is. So you get taken advantage of. Oh, it's a loophole, but you never find out what it is. What is wrong with you? Am I right or right?
Right.
Just because you're looking at me like, huh? Yeah, I'm right. And you let them get away with it. If they write it, they write the exception, find out the exception, and do the exception. That's been on the books for 50 years, and your accountants don't even know it. Holy smokes. You better fix that. We'll help you. We doing okay, Bobby?
You're doing great.
Okay, because that's... I'm not sure what that meant, the way he said that, okay? Andre, you take care of my light work later? Okay, good job, okay? So, number one, 50 years ago, this code was already written, and all the senators and congressmen are using it, except for the people they serve. So it's about time you wake up and take advantage of it. Then, listen to me. In 1976, watch a guy named John Bogle. Has anybody ever heard of him other than outside the business? John Bogle. John Bogle is the man that runs a fund called the Vanguard Funds. Go look it up. It's one of the best funds in the United States. He is a multi-billionaire, and he's cool. He created this concept called indexing. I am not here to give you a whole financial lesson tonight. I'm not doing it. I'm just touching the surface of it to let you know how the story unfolds and why. Fair enough? So he created what's called indexing, and he was smart by doing indexing. When he discovered it, it completely changed Wall Street. By the way, Garrett's throwing out terms like S&P 500. The truth is, if you're like me, I was very ignorant when I first came to a business brief. I heard Dow Jones. I thought Dow Jones was a guy. Dow's up today. Good for him. All right. Dow's down. Give him a doggy upper or something. What do you want from me? What do I know? How do you listen to it all the time, too? You all know? Burrito, you know what the Dow Jones is?
Not completely.
That means absolutely not. I love the way he answers. You got to know Burrito. You got to cut through the chase. Am I right or right? Richie, you see that? Okay, that's Burrito. You know what I mean? So here, Burrito, you okay? All right, good. Your hemorrhoids all right? Okay, good. See, everything gets discovered here, right? Okay, so here's the deal, okay? Now where was I going, Shane? I lost my thought on that.
You're going on John Bogle.
Yeah, John Bogle, but now I was covering indexing. Dow Jones. Dow Jones. No, you failed. You missed one. Okay, -5, Shane. That's 2 mistakes there now. Okay, so on the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is 2 guys that did form what they call a business index. And all it is 30 companies in the United States that are in about 6 different areas: manufacturing, agriculture, you get it? That's all it is, 30 companies. And they use that as a barometer for how all 30 are doing to measure what the economy in the United States is doing. Since then, the S&P 500 took over the last 20, 30 years, and that's big. That's the top 500 companies in the country. I loved it. I have to tell you what I heard the other day, and it was, people have knucklehead objections. And your objection only means you don't know the answer. That's all it is. So I don't take it personal. But here it is. 500 top, that's the Microsofts, the Apples, the Johnson & Johnsons, the Procter & Gambles, the IBMs. You understand? You see, if they all fail, you're speaking Chinese, Russian, or you're dead. Everybody clear about that? If you can't bet at the best that we got, then leave now and give me your passport. Hello? Are you all with me? Anybody got a little objection to that? Because you can't. It's the truth. It's what we got. Somebody said, what happens if they all fail? Well, then you fail. That's what you're in now. Who's kidding? Who? Am I right or right?
Right.
I love telling the truth. It's a little shocking, though, isn't it? Brito, you all right? Okay. So here it is. Bogle created index in 76, and then what? Then another law happened. In 1999, they changed the laws. This is what changed your life in this room right now. These things already existed, indexing and the tax code, and in comes this. Okay, Trey, it's your wonderful moment, Trey. Tell everybody what that act was.
The Glass-Steagall Act is actually the act that permitted banks to only do banking, stockbrokers to only do stockbroking, and insurance companies to only be able to do insurance.
So in other words, what you just said is all those industries couldn't commingle. They had to stay in their respective businesses, and they couldn't transcend each other's lines. Until 1999, that was overturned. Then they said, go at it, compete. Wow, that changed the world. Changed the world. Andre, who won that game? Take a guess. I know you don't know the answer. Store 1, 2, or 3. Which one? Insurance companies, banks, or the stockbrokers? Who won? Wrong answer. Okay, Mr. Padilla, give it your best shot. Who won that out of those 3? You know it's not stockbrokers. You got 2 choices. Okay, it was either banks, insurance companies, or the stockbrokers. And he already gave stockbrokers. That's not the right answer. Amen, man. You get the high five. All right. Okay, why? Let me inform you. 85% of all the global worth did you hear global? It means the world. They own the global wealth of the whole universe, the insurance companies. So who has more money?
Insurance.
They can do anything they want and do it better. So when that law got changed and said go compete, guess what? They can compete with the banks and stockbrokers now. They created this product called IUL in the year 2000. They perfected it in 2004. So the truth is, it's only about 10 years old. How about that? And most of your financial planners and everybody else don't even know about it, and they're too lazy to find out. Unbelievable. Now what? Listen to this one. See, living benefits. Does anybody, now, Cody, now you should know living benefits. Your name, sir? I forgot your first name.
This one?
Yes. Joe, I love it. This one, I love it. Me, you talking to me? Yes, I am. So, Big Joe, that's my stupid phone. And, oh, Lindsey Byram, I can't take that. Okay, he knows I'm doing a meeting. So, Joe, right?
Yes.
Joe, what's a living benefit?
I don't know.
Oh, I didn't think you did. Who in this room has life insurance? Anybody? All right, so you guys aren't planning on dying, right?
No.
So you're planning on living,
Yes, sir.
and you have no retirement.
Correct.
Wow. I'll hire you for my garden if you want. I need a guy to do my garden. I want to drive once. Well, I can hire you. No, I'm kidding. Don't get mad at me. Okay, because you guys are setting yourselves up. Am I right or right? Am I right about this? Guess what? You're going right, but you're just as bad. I didn't see your hands go up either. You need pay yourself first. Did everybody hear that? Repeat it back. 1, 2, 3.
Pay yourself first.
It's amazing. Now you've got to do that because are you important to you?
Yes.
Who are you going to be 30 years from now? The same broke guy you are now? If you don't start now because nobody else is taking care of your butts. Am I right or right, Joe?
Right.
Man, I heard that. And my wife was here a couple weeks ago, and she knows it. She's been hanging around me for 30-some-odd years. Why? I don't know, okay? But we've been doing it. And she knows it when I was dating her even. I owed back rent, and guess what they didn't get? They didn't get the rent before I paid myself first. When I heard that from a mentor of mine, that's one of the wealthiest people in the United States to this day, he's always in the Forbes billionaire list, a friend of mine, showed me that, and I go, man, see, I love getting mentored by people that do it. How many of you agree to that statement? Better start, hey, you have 2 choices. You can either change your friends or change your friends. And personally, if I were you, I'd change your friends. It's a lot easier. Can you figure that out, Brito? You need a week on that one? Okay, a month, all right. All right. Hey, you all have it, everybody okay? Okay, good, so let me keep going. So now where was I, Ryan? Take me back again. I keep drifting. I'm on the surfboard.
Living benefits.
What's that?
Living benefits.
Living benefits, exactly. Because none of you know what that is. Now, I asked who had life insurance. Who raised their hands? Now, Brito, you got the new kind or the old kind? Exactly. That's why I asked. Okay? So I can tell you now you got the old kind. Okay, now, are you married? Do you have children?
I'm just married.
You just married. No children yet? So you got responsibilities. You got life insurance. So that's good. What do you have to do to benefit to have your life insurance paid?
Die.
Doesn't that suck? Okay, how would you like the benefit if you could live? If you could do that, would you fix it? Okay, who brought you here tonight? Can you see him tonight? We're gonna fix it immediately. Watch. I'm not saying this, you are. Who in this room, in the entire room, knows somebody in this room, in your life, 65 or younger, that have either had a heart attack, stroke, or some form of cancer and are still living? Please raise your hand. Wow. Look around. Look in the room. Did you raise your hand? Keep it up. Everybody in this room. What makes you any? There's 30 people in here. Guess what? 7 out of 10. Listen to the numbers. They don't lie. Okay? Here's the data. 7 out of 10 of you are going to have that happen to you. And you're sitting here taking it for granted. Hey, I was 48 and I had 2 stents put in my heart. How do you like that? And I'm in condition. You don't know. And what you don't know will keep you broke and busted forever. Am I right, Andre? Big. Right, Joe?
Right.
Do you get that? How young are you?
I'm 28.
You better get off your doopa.
Yeah.
20. Did your 28 years go fast?
They went really fast.
Are you married at all?
No, I'm single.
You have any children?
Nope.
See how you have to ask that these days? You never know, right? Okay, so you're 28. Before you know it, you're an old fart. Right or right?
Right.
And all of you have a different respect on what you think is old. I'm not old. He is. No, I'm only kidding. I didn't want to be alone anymore. You know what I mean, Mr. Padilla? You all right, buddy? I don't even like this guy. Okay? So we want to have fun. So you hear the story. So this product was created. So it gives life insurance, living benefits. Now let me tell you what it is. Here's what's killing me. This is only about 10 years old in the United States also. 2 doctors created it. In fact, you don't know this because half of you weren't even born then, but in 1967, the Bernard brothers were 2 doctors in South Africa that started the whole open heart surgery deal and replacement. They did replacement hearts. They did transplants. They're awesome. They changed the medical world. The reason why we have people living longer is because of the Bernard brothers. They're still alive, still kicking. And we got a 4-minute video in our back office. You'll love it. He's on there talking. Here's what happened. He had a young lady in her early 30s, lung cancer. He took a lung out, put a new one in, received it. 2 minutes later, she's back in the office, and she's starting to fail. He goes, this is not right. What's going on? She goes, I'm back at work. No. Why are you working? Doc, I don't think you understand. Divorced mom, mother of 2, raising them. It's the only bread on the table is what I'm bringing to it. So I got to work. She was dead in 2 years. She did have life insurance. They paid. He immediately got on a plane, went to England where he had a big center of influence with companies over there and what he did over in England too. And he sat down and said, hey, morons, let me make it really clear to you. I'm saving people's lives and you're killing them. You're in the business. Tell me why you don't issue them the right to have their death benefit because you're legal reserve companies ahead of time. It's already on reserve. If they're dying, give it to them ahead of time. They said, that's a good idea. Hence, living benefits were born. Right now, and everybody you know owns life insurance got the old kind. They don't have it. It's not included. They don't have riders, and they got to pay for it. In our world, it's included with what you do, and that means chronic illness, critical illness, and terminal illness. You can have Alzheimer's and take your money, 90% of it, and live a dignified life while you're dying too. It takes you 10 years to die. How many people know somebody in a nursing home? Okay, guess what's happening? Some of you got boomerang disease. Who in here caught the boomerang disease? Anybody in here? Boom, boom, boom. Oh, boom, big boom. Boom. Yeah, big boom right here, okay? That's because he came to my house, okay? How many of you want to know what the boomerang disease is? I'm not telling you then. Okay, you guys got to leave, and okay, now you can stay. You don't want to know?
I think I know.
Okay, tell me what it is.
You end up back at home.
He's a boomerang kid. I'm kidding.
I tried. He said no.
Oh, I like him. Come and bring him here. He said no. I loved you then. I don't now. No. Now, you know what kids mean? Well, they go to college. Boom, boom. Hey, I love this punk butt right now. Oh, I'm on my own. Oh, really? No, he was just living up there, having everything paid for. Oh, he got a job because he had beer money, royalty money. But I'm on my own. Well, boom! Give me all that money back. Okay, but anyway, you go out on your own, boom, 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 and you're living the life. Hey, I'm free. All of a sudden, then college is over. Everything hits home, and guess what? Oh, reality hits, and what happens? Boom, 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 right back in. Right or right? That's the boomerang disease. Nobody likes it. You don't like it, and your parents don't like it. How many of you agree to that? Boom! It stinks. If you made enough money, you wouldn't have to do it. Hello, right? Hey, man, don't get mad at me for your circumstances. It was all about choices. You made them, and now you got to pay the consequences. Also for making the wrong money decisions. Am I right or right? Right. So now you know that all the laws were put into place to make this happen. Now we're going to show you what happens in an example of that. Because you learned the rule of 72. We showed you how it works. Then we showed you how a little loss can be a great loss. And you didn't know it before. Am I right or right? Right. Now we're going to take it. What do I do, Garrett? Again, I'm a dope. Oh, you're talking to this thing? Well, that doesn't help me. I'm down here at the PowerPoint.
PowerPoint, yeah. Bottom P.
Okay, I got it. Okay, and how do I make this big?
Little thing in the right corner, little T.
He's look at, he's so mad at me. The little thing in the right corner. Where, right here?
Yep. No.
Oh, okay, I did it wrong.
No, give me this.
Okay, right. You hear that? You hear that? How many people thought he just had attitude? Guess what? He just lost a position in the will. See, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat. Richie, you know what that was? Boom! Right. So watch. You see, here's the red line, blue line, and you all do this. So you better pay attention. This is the facts. This isn't me making this up. If you had 100 grand put away in 97 in 2012, here's exactly what you got. See the red line? There's only 2 women in here tonight, so I'm going to pick on women. How many people think women want to get picked on once in a while? All right, it's a man's world right now. All right, so, hey, look at Joe's going, no, yeah, no. Ladies, you have to maintain your sense of humor now and let me be. Fair enough? I know you're going to stab me later. Okay, so here it is. Okay. How many of you men, and I tease because now I'm taking advantage of there's a lot of guys in here, how many people agree that women are basically moody? How many people agree that women are basically moodier than men, unless you're like Sergio Capiampa, okay, or a burrito, mood swing? How many people know that like guys like burrito have too much estrogen and he gets moody? Right. Okay, so here's the deal. Okay, this is the S&P 500. Anybody that's got a retirement account or a mutual fund or anything in this room, your money, 85% of you, your money's right here, fellas and ladies. I ain't making this the way it is. Fact. I love the facts. You can't argue with them. It's the way it is. So watch. A woman's mood. My wife. It's my birthday. I forgot. Oh, I'm in the doghouse. I made dinner. Yeah, but I burnt it. Oh. Okay. I did the laundry. Oh, but I forgot the sheets. Oh. See, my wife gets moody. Ooh, ooh. 1 minute she's great. Next minute, moody. Anybody ever deal with that before? It's the stock market. You can't tell when it's going up, it's going down. And by the way, the other day, it topped the highest it's been in the history of Wall Street. And it makes no sense. Zero sense. You can't even justify it. So what's that mean to you? When the market goes up, what's it have to do again? Some of you are getting that. What goes up must go down. Okay, that's a fact. So watch. $100,000, here's what you do. That $100,000 is now worth $165. How many people get pumped up about that? Okay, great, but you didn't pay attention when we showed you earlier. So shame on you. You got to come back now. You only got half the lesson. Because here's the deal. You got 165 there, but what do you got to do to this money? What do you got to do with it? You got to pay taxes and you got to pay what? Fees. Right. Sucks. So if you use our strategy, we're going to show you what to do, which is I'm going to give you a hint. It's the blue line. But anyway, in the meantime, watch. On 165, pay 25% tax bracket, Joe. Joe, 25% of 165, what is that? I know you don't know the answer. I know, just say 40,000.
40,000.
Awesome! Almost, not quite, but close. You're brilliant. All right? So he did pretty good. So deduct 40,000, now you're down to 20,000, 25,000? Guess what? 3% is low. You're paying 3 to 5% fees to your brokers, Burrito. 3 to 5. Every year, whether you make money or lose money. They love you. Because how much risk do they have?
0.
Oh, but you keep paying them? Is there something wrong in that picture, Burrito? Okay, I thought you'd say that. 3% on 100,000 is how much? Who said that? Okay, both of you? Tovar's not that bright, so you must have said it. Okay, right. So watch. Taking off 40,000 and 30,000, that's $70,000 off this figure. 70,000 off 165 puts you where? Back down to $195,000. You start out with less than what you started with 15 years ago. How many people think that's a pretty poor deal? That's exactly what you're all doing. Anybody you know that's got a retirement account is doing that. We tell people, no, we're going to move it. Notice how the blue line stays right here? Let me tell you what an IUL does. First of all, the insurance company, I'm not going through a whole lesson on it. The insurance company manages your money, and they give you returns of the Standard & Poor's 500. But they cap it. So let me put that down for you here. Okay? They cap it at 14%. So let me make it clear. If the market goes up, like Garrett pointed out, to 25%, how much are you going to get? 14. If the market goes to 18%, how much are you going to get? Right. If the market gets 7, how much are you going to get? Right. You get whatever the market gets up to 14%, and you're guaranteed contractually never to lose your principal. Ever. It's going to stay there. So if the market drops by 10, what do you get? 0. Whatever you made, your principal's safe, and any money that you made is safe too. How many people think that's wonderful? That's called defensive. That's what you want. And how is it done? Through the insurance companies. We'll explain that another time, but I'm just telling you what the rules are, okay? That's a big deal. So notice that the market's down here. What did it do? It just stayed level, didn't it? When the market went up, it took it up. When it dropped again, it stayed level. See, this 211,000, here are the facts. That's already netted out. That's the fees out, lifetime fee over the lifetime you're at 1.5%, lifetime average. Okay? You don't pay tax on this money, so I got a real simple question. Burrito, if this was you, you want 95,000 or do you want 211? With no gotchas. You want your money, you take it. No penalties. Got it? How smooth is that? There's nothing here to discuss. There's not even an argument. We're not open for debate or discussion. You see, it's so powerful to be right. Here's what's killing me. Most people don't have a clue about money, what's going on, and we're exposing the industry, giving people choice, A or B, and he gets an FIP. All of you should have an FIP. How many people agree that you ought to have a financial independent plan? You ought to. And look at your circumstances and figure out what you're doing, where you're going, so you can start out. Because if you don't start now, you're going to be broke later. How many people agree to that statement? Okay? Then do it smart. See, you can check everything I'm saying and everything I'm going over. It's all just a matter of fact. I just hit a button here, Garrett, now for the next one. Okay, good. So, oh, by the way, let me go back. I don't want to show that. Okay, good. Watch. How many of you, I'm going to tell you a quick story. It's going to freak you out, and then I'm closing out. Okay? How many of you, most of you don't pay attention to what's going on. Like, I love, how many of you ever watch Jay Leno's Jaywalking or Jimmy Kimmel's Street Talk? Isn't that hysterical? Yeah. How many of you agree there's a lot of dumb people in our world? Okay, I don't want to talk to them. I hope you're not one of them. You may be. Okay, I love it. They ask silly questions that everybody should know the answer to, and you don't have a clue. See, you better start having a clue. Am I right or right? I'm going to tell you a fact. I'm not going to give you all the history, but I'm going to tell you this. You see it on the news all the time, and none of you pay attention. The CBO, that's the Congressional Budget Office. They told you this. This is your branch of the government that does the accounting for you. They said right now, if nothing changes between now and 2020, by the way, let me do this for you, okay? Joe, how many tax brackets are in the United States of America right now federally? 8. Almost! Okay, you almost get the door prize. Okay, wrong answer. Andre.
10.
Bigger. Wrong answer. Okay, Richie.
15.
What the hell? Man, people don't make that much money, brother. No, I love it. Richie's going, huh? Me? My name's Rich. Okay, now here's the deal. There are 6 tax brackets in the United States. 6. You should all know that. And you don't. Okay, and you should want to be in the highest one. They start at 10 and they go as high as 39.6. Now that means that if you make $1 million bucks, 39,600 of it's going back to Uncle Sam. That's income tax. Everybody clear about that? Now, how many of you think 39.6 is high? Raise your hands. Okay, the rest of you are either brain dead or not even. Are you okay, Sergio? I asked a question. Did you respond? What'd you do? You just nodded. The nose moved. That's all I saw. Okay, so here's the deal. How many of you think it is a lot of money? Okay, I'm here to tell you it's the third lowest tax rate in the history of the United States. You're pretty funny people. That's how much you don't know. And I'm telling you what the fact. Oh, and watch, just to prove it to you. Check this out. Boom. Right now, these are all the tax brackets since 1920. I didn't make it up. It's right here. It's all history. As much as 94%, 92%, 70%. Hey, World War II, Jimmy Carter days. Some of you don't know this because you're clueless. And you know what's troubling me about American society? Y'all forget too quick. about everything. It's amazing to me. When anybody remember Jimmy Carter, that Dane? He was the president, okay? When he was in office and then Ronald Reagan took over, anybody hear those names in here? You guys are so young, you might just know Obama. Okay? Now, I'm kidding. Anybody got a sense of humor? You're okay? Don't be looking at me like that. I'll give you a beating. Okay, so here it is. Here's the deal. Okay? Where was I going on that one, right? The president. When Jimmy Carter was president, mortgage rates, how many of you know you can get a mortgage for 3%, 4% right now and feel happy about it? Okay, guess what? And you think it's great. When Carter was in office, they were high as 18.65%. And that wasn't that long ago. What makes you think it can't go back to that? You better be prepared because, you know, the world's coming to a big drastic halt in the next 18 to 24 months, and there's not a person in this room that's prepared for it except for me that I know right now. And you're in for the state of shock. You better be able to react. You better be able to take advantage of what's happening. And if you don't, shame on you. And don't come to me because I ain't giving you my money. Ha! You can earn it, but I ain't giving it to you. I don't give it away. I'm not Obama. If any of you didn't like that comment, I meant to, you know, tick you off. Who? Padilla?
No, I was pointing to the door.
Oh, right, exactly. All right, that's my man. You can say boomerang hands. Boomerang hands. Okay, no, that's great. And I'm kidding. I'm not here to be political, but I'm sick of high handouts. How many of you are sick of handouts? How many of you are sick of that? Everybody thinking, what can I get now for nothing? I was taught when I was a kid, you want something, you go earn it. You pay for it. I was taught to pay cash. When you got cash, you're a smash. When you're broke, you're a joke. Right? Amen to that one? Boom. Boom! Richie loves that. Boom. Okay? How many of you know that if you have a Benny boy in your pocket, you bounce a little bit? Everybody ought to have a Benny. Okay? But when you don't have a Benny, here's you. How you doing? All right. Same old, same old. All right. Am I right or right? In fact, you ought to, everybody in this business from now on, I'm going to do Benny checks. I want to see $100 in your pocket all the time. It's going to change your attitude. Oh, Paul's got one. You got one, Ryan? Mm-hmm. Bro, look at him. Like, see, they won one last week, and Ryan goes, "Oh, I feel good when I open up my wallet." See, oh, Benny boy, and look, it doesn't bounce. Like, oh, you got a Benny?
It's in the form of 20s, but yeah.
All right, that's good. That's good. Oh, Tovar, you just got paid today. How come I know that? Right now. That's pretty funny. Is that good? Okay, you with me? So I'm almost wrapping up. So here's the deal. The CBO says, see how, Cody, is it pretty cool we can drip the weight income right back? Are you all right?
I love it.
Are you still with us?
I am.
Andrew blinks out every once in a while. Andrew, you and I got to talk. I got to give some adrenaline later. Fair enough? Okay. So here's the deal. All right? Zach, you paying attention? Okay, the CBO's telling you, watch, I'm only going to give you 3. Out of the 10% bracket, the 25% bracket, and the 39.6. Those are the low, the middle, and the high right now. Fair enough? Here's what they tell you. If nothing's changing, and by the way, nothing's changing between now and then. Anybody think Congress is working together right now? No. Does anybody have any faith that they're going to do the hard decisions that they got to do, like start changing entitlements or anything like that? Nope. See, if I give you more data, I'll freak you out, but I don't have time because we're over time. So I'm going to stay short. Now listen to this. They tell us that the 10% tax bracket is going to 25. The 25% tax bracket is going up to 63%. And the 39.6 is going up to 88%. Let me make it clear. If you make $1 million, you're giving $888,000 back to Uncle Sam. Can you survive on 120 grand out of $1 million? And you didn't even pay your fees. It's a joke, and that's happening right now. And you're going to get it because you're not doing anything about it. Tax-free is the only way to go, in my opinion. Legally, those loopholes that are applying in your life, how many people agree with what I'm saying? Okay, you can stay. The rest of you, go stay broke. Anybody take offense to what I say? No? If you do, I meant it. Just checking. Okay, I'm just showing you now. That's what I already told you about the tax rates and all that kind of stuff. I can go on and on. How many people think living benefits are pretty cool? Now watch this one. On our debt program, by the way, I just approved of an ad today. Oh, it's so cool. I love it. It's a video you're going to see. How many of you would love to be able to buy a house and have it paid off in 9 years instead of 30? Boom! Without changing a thing you're doing. Because you don't know how to do it. It's a software program that teaches you how to do it. It tells you what to do. We got a video of 2 ladies, it's a true story too, that bought a house. They got a 4% mortgage rate, same term, same everything. Only this one owned the house in 9 years. This one stayed 30. And that you should have seen the interaction speech in it too, because they were describing it, and she's writing out the check to the banks and giving them the banks, and this one's out partying and saving them for retirement, and they're retiring with dignity and going away. This woman's still a slave to the banks. I don't like the banking system. It's a monopoly that's been stealing from us for years, and you keep giving it. You've got to learn the rules of the game and change it. Take your control of your life back, and if you don't, you deserve to be broke. And remember, we said it today, because it's never changing. You've got to get proactive. Everybody, and you're young, and we're going to teach you the language of this business. You don't get it all in one bite. You can eat an elephant one bite at a time. Am I right or right? And there's three kinds of people in this world, Shane. Those that make things happen, those that watch things happen, and those that don't know what the hell is happening. Which one are you, Shane?
Make things happen.
Amen. Servers, bartenders, what are we? We're going to find out. He's teetering on me. He goes, I don't know if I like this guy. I can see that, Bob. You got to evaluate me. What about you?
Make it happen.
Well, we're going to find out. Now, here's another one. You're all liars. How many of you agree that you're a liar? You lie. Okay, right. So I don't believe a thing, right? See, and here's what happens, okay? You got to be coachable. I'm a coach. I understand that game. See, I understood that I wasn't smart enough. I wanted to learn from very smart people, and I said, if you know it, you teach it. If it comes out of your mouth, it's coming out of this mouth. I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. I ain't that bright. But Stephen, I can copy, can't I? There's not an original word comes out of this mouth. I stole it everywhere. Fact! I'd like to think some is original, but I don't know which one is. Okay, because all these years of learning from other people, and it all makes sense. I love this. If you argue with common sense, you know what it means? You got none of it. And I don't even want to know you. I want to hang around with people who make sense. And dollars. Hello. Hey, how many of you know that making money beats the hell out of not having any of it? Change your life. And being wealthy is a whole lot better than you think it is. You better start dreaming again, because that's the big thing. Most of you lost the dream, and most people around you aren't dreaming, and everybody's trying to drag you down to be just like them. I don't even want them around me. You can't get me negative. You couldn't even try. See, this business is more about just helping people save money. It's about making a difference in your life, in your goodies, in here. Now let me show you what you get. Okay, when you come into work in here, now, how many people that freak out right there? That's what's going on with your retirement accounts. That's what's going on with your savings accounts. That's what's going on in your life. You're working for the government and what other job you got. You're working for the brokers and everybody else instead of working for you and your family. Change it, fix it. Am I right or right, Mr. Badillo? Kind of hard to argue with me, isn't it? I'm not sure you want to in this forum anyway. So anyway, here we go. Ready? Here's the deal. And I welcome any challenge to anybody. Watch. Just so you know it, the reason why I chose this, I didn't know I was going to find this business. I had no idea. I was always looking for something because I wanted to be somebody in the worst way. I wanted to be independent. I wanted to be free. Does that make sense to you, Andrew? Yeah. Okay, you're right there? Yeah. Joe, do you want to be somebody? Yeah. I want to be somebody so bad I can't stand it. Right? Just to my kids, my family, make a difference in the world. Okay? I don't want to live the same old life. I don't want to be average and ordinary. Campiampa, you know what average ordinary means? You do? No. It's the best of the worst and the worst of the best. Everybody get that? Yeah. Shane, you want to be the worst of the best?
Sure.
How many people know that old Shane failed the test and didn't get it?
I'm not Bill Gates, I'm part of the best.
Whoa. Hey, in the Olympics, there's the gold, silver, and bronze. You ever know who fourth is?
No.
Whoa! And they worked out just as hard as the other three, didn't they? By a millisecond, and you never remember them. The same 4 years of hard work. No. I don't want to be the worst of the best. And do you want to be the best of the worst? Throw up. Right. Throw up. Who could get a bucket? Andre, you getting it? Yeah, I want to be somebody. You understand it? So watch. The financial, just so you all get it, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. We teach you every step of the way, Cody. Are you learning something every time you come here?
Every single time.
Okay, is it fun?
Absolutely.
And you're getting it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then we're going to teach you how to talk to it and represent it. See, here's the bottom line. Listen to this. The financial services industry is the highest paid industry in the world. Why wouldn't you do it? If somebody gave you an opportunity. Because you don't want to make money? Okay. Watch. You see, the average customer that we deal with is dealing with $300 transaction per month. And remember what I told you? That's not out of pocket. Joe, you clear about that? Okay, it's money that we already found. Some cases, yes. He's paying $38 a month for him. Okay, the rest we found. Fair? Like, how many of you got a tax refund check last year? See, you're all silly people. You got one? How much interest was attached to your check? Can I tell you?
Yeah.
Okay, watch this one. How's that feel?
Very good.
See, you gave the money all year round to them, right? Then you asked for it back and they took their sweet time getting it back to you? A month or two, and there was no interest attached. If you owed them money, could you do the same thing? Then why are you submitting to their rules? Boom, Rich. And knock, boom. Am I getting them, Rich?
Yeah, you got it.
All right. If I need a bodyguard, I'll call him Rich. He's just a big guy and he likes the boom. Okay, right? Everybody with me? Okay, so that's just the truth. So you got to fix that. We're going to fix that for you so you don't get a refund check and now you just found money to go invest. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
It didn't cost you any money to listen to that, did it?
No.
See, boom.
Boom.
Boom. That's right, I forgot. I did a boom, not a boom. Okay, so we're trying to have fun. So let me go back to this. So the one client invest. Now watch. When you become a VP, and I'm going to show you what it takes to be a VP in our business. That means you're your own agency at that time. And we have all the management levels, all that crap. We built the business and agency system. We'll teach you what it's all about. And we have multiple income streams, from the energy to the debt. The debt's going to blow you away. You can make a lot of money in it. Everybody's got debt. They don't need to do it. They need a system because they're not coachable. How many of you have gone to the gym, worked out, got in shape, and then got fat again? Burrito raise everything on your body. Okay. I love burrito, okay? Now, is that true of all of us? Oh, I'm really going to get in shape this year. How many of you ever done that? Gym memberships go way up in January because you're all liars. Oh, man. It's your gut check, literally. Ooh. See, and you go to work out and you quit, right? So life changes. You mean well. You need a GPS system to keep you out of debt and keep you honest so it tells you exactly what you got to do because you're going to lie. Anybody want to argue with me? Cody, you want to argue? No. Andrew, can you argue with me? All right. All right, just checking. So watch this one. On the insurance and financial services alone, the insurance company, when you do this, collect $300 from somebody, as a VP, they'll pay you $3,000 every time you do that. Now, ain't that something? So how long does it take you waiting bar to make $3,000? About a month. Sir, I'm not exaggerating. I'm telling you the facts because it's all history. This takes 3.5 hours after you find a qualified client. Would you like to exchange a month with 3.5 hours? Pay attention. Be coachable. Do exactly what we're telling you, when we tell you, how we telling you. You're going to be a successful dude. I don't have time to waste with anybody. None. Zero. Now watch. Now, Stephen Padilla, would you agree? Does everybody in here agree that Stephen Padilla is not the most handsome guy in the United States? Raise your hand. Okay. Well, all right. How many of you agree that Stephen Padilla is not the most dynamic human being in the world? But now watch this one. Stephen Padilla brought more guests, I think, than anybody in this room. Give him a round of applause. That's Stephen Padilla. So he's building a business. Now, you were too shy of what you said, but congratulations to you, sir. I'm proud of you. I don't know where you got these bloats, but you found them. You picked them up on the way. They were hitchhiking. You picked them up. No. Okay, whatever he did it. Now watch. The truth is, and I apologize. Your name again, the bartender?
Ryan.
Ryan. Okay, Ryan, you're taking me for a gin and tonic later. No, I'm kidding. Okay, now watch. Ryan, could you go and introduce 5 people just like Stephen did and build a business? If it took you a month to do it, could you do it? The truth is, he did it in a week. Okay, you got it? Now watch. Could you do 2 of these a month? A month! Of what I'm talking about. Telling people how to move. And all I want is out of the 5, 3 out of the 5 to do 2 just like you did, which is 8 a month. Everybody clear about that? 8 transactions equals $129,000 to you. Would you pay attention, Ryan?
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you why you pay attention. There's only 4% of the United States population that makes more than $100,000 a year, and you're not doing it, and your resumes won't qualify you for $100 grand. Isn't that stink? Here's Mr. Masters. Who's going for biology? Somebody was. Somebody in this room. Oh, Andre. Master's degree. Can I tell him what you make?
There you go. He's
a communist. You know why he's a communist? He's in a system. They tell him what to do, how to do, when to do it. They tell him when to report. They don't. He doesn't even control his retirement account. They tell him what he has to do. He has to mandatorily invest a certain amount out of the state, and he does it. I wouldn't take that job, but he did, because otherwise he was a boomerang again. Now, number 2 is, Out of a master's degree, he makes $38,000 a year. Excuse me. I can't make it if I don't make $38,000 a month. That's what you want to aspire to. Is that true or true?
True.
Amen. You are what you think. See, the only difference between me and you, RJ, is the way we think. See, I believe. You get that? I follow leaders that kept their word. You get that? I love you brought your dad, because your dad's checking me out. He's checking everything out. He's going to tell you, I don't like that guy, or I like that guy. Go do it. You'll be here next week, or you won't, based upon what he says. Because you listen to your father all the time. I hope he's right all the time. See, I know I am. See the difference? Okay, there's no arguing with me. Not a discussion. How many people think that's pretty ballsy, but pretty straight? Okay? We only know how to tell it like it is. We think that's the way it ought to be in life. You ought to know the truth up front. That's a refreshing thing. Is that true or true?
True.
Okay, fact. So watch this one. Could you like to make, Ryan, $129,000?
Yeah.
That's only one area, sir. One area of our business. Is this right? We just started here about 6 months ago on the full service side. So we're growing. We're going to blow this state up. We just had the executive vice chairman in from our insurance division in. We had a lot of fun. He was over doing another meeting. We're all over the state. We're all over the country. We're looking for leaders. That's why. How many people are on this tonight? Do you have any idea?
I can't tell right now.
Okay. Last week, how many? What'd you say, Paul?
34.
34 were on here when we were doing this thing, so we don't even know where they are. We'll track them and find out, so you have the ability to be able to have people do that. We have training calls on Thursday. If you're interested in this business, there's 2 things you got to do, and I'm wrapping up. Okay? Because we're going to teach you how to build a business and make a lot of money and get paid weekly. Okay? Comma checks. In fact, Ryan got celebrated. You were on a conference call today. You didn't even know it. You knucklehead. You and Paul. Now, your names are all over the place there because of what you did last week. And last week he won. See, he made $6,000 part-time last week. How many of you would like to make $6,000 a week part-time? Okay? And he's not particularly brilliant.
True.
Okay, Trey Carter, you're to be celebrated. Trey Carter got all of his training transactions done. He's now running his own. He's got 4 transactions to do this week. He will make his first comma check as a brand new guy who moves people's furniture. He's going to be hiring people, and they're going to call him Mr. Carter. Give him a round of applause. Great job. Awesome. See, I love that. We're getting new. I'm going to give out. You're going to be T-shirted to death. How many of you could love T-shirts? I'm going to make them. I'm going to give them out for rewards and recognition. It's great. We're going to have some fun in here, and we're going to hand you money. And the only thing you got to do what you're supposed to do to make the money, but get promoted. See, you don't have to kiss anybody's butt around here. You just do certain things and you get promoted. You don't ask anybody. You automatically get promoted. Nobody has to approve it. How many people think that's great? In other words, you control your future. You do. Instead of giving up to everybody else and getting disappointed and put the thumb on you, put the squeeze on you. Sorry, we're cutting back your hours. Well, it's season. Sorry, we're going to hire somebody else. I'm hiring my friend. We're going to give them the job and cut your hours, even in season. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Ooh. See, here you control your own destiny. How many people like that idea? See, there you go. And watch. Understand this. There's not a soul out there in this country that we can't help. We can help the broker than broke, and we can help the wealthiest of the wealthy. How big is that? This kills me. Who was with me in Calistoga on Saturday? I turned around. Didn't I do this to you? I go, turn around. You know anybody in here? He lives in Naples. How many years you live in Naples?
44.
Did you know anybody there?
1 person.
Boom. 1 person. And it was me. No, okay. Okay, I'm surprised. I didn't think you knew anybody. Who else was there with me? Did you know anybody, Paul?
Not if anyone else at the table.
Did you know anybody, Stephen? See, everywhere you go, you don't know that everybody sitting over there in that hotel, you don't know them. The world is huge. Do you understand that? You know how many people are young like you and broker than you are too, and they don't know any better? All they need to be is talked to, and you got to learn what to say. We will teach you that language. Do not try to go home and tell your dad what you saw. Bring him here so he can form his own opinion. He would throw up all over this thing if you try to tell his dad. Dad, I'm gonna make $1 million. Oh yeah, sure, son. Okay, and he gets too excited. Am I right or right? Okay, let us do the talking with it for you. Here's another thing. Go to the person who invited you here. Stephen, do this. All 3 of these bloats, okay? Fill out a simple needs analysis. And we'll talk to them right away. You got to get who brought you to the business, introduced you? So you got to sit with Zach and Ryan right away so they understand what to do so you learn, because you don't know enough yet. But they'll help you so they don't screw that up. And we can get their results for them right away and just put it in front and say, what are you doing? And we'll show them how to save the money and make their own plan. Everybody should have an FIP. Am I right, Burrito? Yep. No question about it. Brito, I'm done. What'd you like best about what you heard tonight? Boom! That's a boom, Rich. Boom. Okay, right. Okay, how much money would you like to make?
A lot more than I'm making now.
Okay, that's not hard to do.
No, it's not.
Okay. Okay, good. All right, what'd you like best about it? All right. You and Rich are going to get along very well. How about yourself?
Making money.
Right, do you understand the concept?
Yes, sir.
We free up money that people are spending inappropriately. We're supplying people with their needs, teaching them what they don't know. So you got to learn, it's a people business, man. The best thing about our business, it's the people business. You know what the worst thing is, Andre? The people business. They're wacky. Wacky. You got to learn how to talk to people and lead people. We're going to teach you the art of communication. The quality of your life, Ashley, is the quality of your communication. How you communicate. We'll teach you how to communicate. We're very straight. How many people know that we don't waste time? See, time is more valuable to me than money is, because I'm in my fourth quarter. Most of you are, you and me, and then old Capiampa back there, we're in our fourth quarters, I think. These guys are all in their first quarter, or second halves. Am I right or right? Better live right. Better make it happen. Okay, that's the story. Who's a guest here? Joe, what'd you like best about what you heard? Any one particular thing hit you?
Not exactly making money, really.
All right, well, you're not going to make money. If you do nothing, you get nothing. That's how much we pay. Is that fair enough?
That's fair.
Andre, what'd you like best? Okay, but listen to this. Nobody said the word yet. I'm getting mad at you. We have a crusade. We don't like the insurance industries. We don't like banks. We don't like anything like that. We expose them. We're going to share with what people need to know and love. Am I right, Shane? What'd you like best about what you heard tonight?
I like the brutal truth. I just like, seeing the difference between the money you can make on tax-free and,
Huge!
I like it. Yeah.
How about the Rule 72? Move your money.
Seen
Stop leaving it in the bank.
Seen that in finance before.
Amen. But now you saw it. You didn't learn it.
Yeah, that was-
Anybody hear that distinction?
That was a recap.
Right. He saw it. See, if you learned it, you'd be doing it. Amen to that?
Amen.
Andrew, what'd you like best? Besides the nap you took.
I like the truth and the opportunity. I like it all.
All right. Mr. Badilla, you're very quiet there. You give me that look. What'd you like best?
The truth.
Okay. Gracias. Appreciate that. Sergio, you Capiampa. Even they let Argentinians in here. I can't believe it. What'd you like best?
Learning how the system works.
Yeah, you getting it? And how it doesn't work. Most people are victims of it. Mr. Capiampa, what'd you like? Yeah, living benefits. See, you got that. See, I don't care. See, here's what the deal is. Even if you sat here all night and just got one thing, you got something out of it. Amen to that?
Amen.
I love that. And every time you come back here, you're going to learn more. And you're going to learn more. And you keep coming until you can learn to do it by yourself and tell me to get I'm out of your face. Okay, until then, we have training all the time. You got to see the person who invited you here, fill out a CNA, or what we call a simple needs analysis. Get it done! Don't wait, Ashley. Not a whole week. Okay, I know it. See, I'm a coach. Show up, Lombardi time. You understand? We start at 7:30, you'll be here at 7:15! You don't wait for the bloats, you leave without them. Just wave. Yes, sir. Oh, you were. They were here at 7 o'clock. Sergio thought he was in Argentina. You know what room? Okay. Any questions from any of the guests? Any statements? You have one last thing to do. You have to do this, or we're coming after you. You have to give me a nice round of applause. I'm working too hard. Thank you. Be available for the call Thursday night if you want. You're more than welcome. We have a training call that we do nationwide, and we certainly do this every Tuesday. We invite you back, learn how to bring guests, learn what's next if you're interested in this business. And you're going to have plenty of questions. We're here to answer them all. Bit by bit is when you get educated. Fair enough? God bless you all. Have a good night. Thank you for being here. Okay, very good to meet you. I hope you had fun. Yeah. Did it make sense? Okay. Sweating. Would like to come more? Right.
That's okay. You know what? I'll go see him. He can come here. Now you can hear. We'll go sit somewhere. Oh.
No residential at all businesses. Merchant accounts. We don't really good or bad. My guy, see guy. You heard him? He talked down. So don't worry. I'll contact you. Next step. You go on these now? I have to readjust.
So shut up. I thought you were meaning your words. Shut up.
If you want that.
Yeah, there was an hour and a half on Tuesday night.
So you can show we can track back or you can go on the computer and have it was 40 hours. You got video. That's discipline. Your discipline, you choose how you want to do it. One day 55 or 72. Yes. Either way. Meantime, I'm going to this is just You need to get the FIQ done. Then I got to mark it. You live at home, or you live on your own? Okay, because if I said you should get your grandma too, some support. You talked to them about it? Okay, good.
Well, that's the other thing. I want my dad to hear about this.
Mr. Padilla was here. All right, but next week. Next week. Okay, there you go, right? You have more reason to do this. Awesome. All right, so, excellent. Yep. Is that okay? Great job. You don't need that one. Hear that? Too many parents are discouraged. They don't know what they're doing. So not. Yeah, Ruben, right to the point. Don't overspend. So you get it, right? Good, I'm glad you came. You got it. See, because you could have gotten the elevator. I don't want that. See, because I'm loud. Some people, that bothers me. Well, I try to keep your attention. I had Andrew call me sleep on. Yeah. You see, we got to sleep. You want to talk? Isn't that fun though? Is the meeting fun? Yeah, it's good, right? I'm so excited. Donna said she could figure out how to fix that. So you got to talk to Donna. All right, I don't want that to slow you up. You still got to go.
Joe's and Stokes. You don't have any? No. I washed my clothes yesterday. I had a brand new pack. Left it in my jeans and fucking went to the wash. I just gotta Give him the breakup. How many you Oh, you need to do this? Yeah. No, I'm just gonna write it down for you. Okay, well, I got Let's go. Hey, taking us. Yeah, I'm taking you guys. You know.
We're all right?
Yeah. This.
Have one?
Kidney shots.
Just what you expected, you were on. But that was perfect. No opinions being formed, you're open-minded, you can. Well, see, when you last go to a business meeting, have a good time, that's pretty cool. It's eye-opening, isn't it? And it's shocking. You're how old? You're a little younger than I was when I saw it. Doc came down here today and said, young to me. And I said, listen, I want to spot you. You get everything I got, you get it, and you like it. You'll be okay. Now, the only thing I get to keep is my wife, my kids, and my knowledge of this. And we swap positions. He had a little fairy dust over on us. I take it back. You know why? Do you have any idea why? No. Yeah, what I know, I'm 26 again, I'd be wealthy at 28. That's up to you. It's all up to you. And everybody's going to try to rob you of your dream. I'm telling you right now, you don't have an argument. There's not a thing you can say. You understand that? I'm flat out telling you. That's pretty bold. And it's pretty true. And I challenge you to try to find the hook in business. The hook is the image of the mirror. That's where the BS is. That's where you quit. That's where you lose the energy. You know. But if you get a teammate that cares, you ain't gonna do it. So I'm gonna put you on the hook. And it's a team. I'm a coach. Our record's 126. Pretty damn strong. There's a reason for it. You get all, but everybody buys into the opinions. You're gonna play. You play. I told them,
you got the deal over here.
Parents, I think, emphasizing
Yeah, good job, man.
exactly what we're doing. We're gonna work out hard. We're gonna play hard. We're gonna win. That makes sense. That's what we do.
We're all going there to grab some beers at 2.
Not too many beers.
Yeah,
All right, good.
Okay.
Oh yeah. All right, get the rules down. From Bubblehead. You gotta get a pet. That's all you got is wait a minute. See Ryan, get everybody's schedule so you're on the track. Don't wait for, if he doesn't get followed up in 2 days, he forgot who he was. He's gonna lose the dream in 2 days. He's not gonna remember. Am I right or right? He's sitting back in the bar mentioning him, everything, that thing. You gotta move people quickly, forgetting it just left. They're excited now. I'm just telling you, straight up. So you make an appointment with them, make an appointment. What day do you have to do one group one all? Are you all three? Are you flexible with your schedule? Not really. Wow. So you got she needs to see this to support you or you can do this business. And we talk about partner support all the time. We don't make fun of it, it's light because they are either going to help you support your team or they take you out and they go, you can do that or where's all the money, where's all the time, we're jealous of it, all that stuff. I don't go up and it, you can get it right in the head. They just need to then you got time with Ryan Young. Get a hold of Ryan.
Let me,
Ready? Is mornings, afternoons, or evenings?